Anybody in
Thank
room
you.
yet?
No, not showing up at least.
My charger is not charging.
Alrighty. Good luck.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to LongWalker's Factual Fridays. So, today we have for us something the daughter of Otten set up for us. A whole list of stuff. This first part that we'll go over is literally all just words and stuff like that I'll talk about and we'll go over. But this is about... What'd you say?
Pretty much since Trump has been is the president-elect since when he was born November 5th.
Yeah.
Since November 5th, there has been an increase, a massive increase in vasectomies, sterilization, IUDs, Plan B. People are buying Plan B in bulk online, even if they're not pregnant. They're just buying it as a precaution because they're so afraid that the Trump administration is going to force them to have pregnancies and get rid of all women's quote unquote health care and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's just a big fear mongering thing that, I feel that.
Well, they aren't so. I mean, they give out the Plan B pretty easily anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I got it.
Because you have one that we had gotten once you got your IUD taken out.
Yeah, because they were like, you want to get another IUD put in, right? And I'm like, no. I'm like, and they're like, well, there's a good chance that you'll get pregnant. And I was like, and like, oh, okay, so that's something that you want.
Yeah.
Well, here's the Plan B anyway, just in case.
Just in case it's not, something in your books. And it's like, to me, that is not what it is about.
No.
I mean, when you're on this planet and stuff, and I understand certain circumstances as far as rape, even rape though, it's kind of like you're given a shot to support something and make it better.
Right.
Just because your rapist was a bad person doesn't mean that the baby will turn out bad too.
Yeah, maybe you were chosen to correct that.
To correct that bloodline.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. It's like, I mean, that child isn't the rapist, and I don't know. I
mean, there's always bad ways and there's always good ways to look at things.
Right.
You've got to meet in the middle and you've got to try to work it out. I mean, these, people saying that Trump is going to stop all abortions and females are getting their body rights taken away. It's just a laughing joke.
Yeah, apparently, like I was telling you last time, there's a bunch of things going around where men are saying, your body, my choice, and it was like, well, I don't know about that. I don't know how much of that's true. And even so, historically, culturally, men have been, the protectors and gatekeepers of, marriage and sex. So I get it. I get what they're coming from. But it's like you have to know that those men have to be ready for that challenge, too. It holds them to a higher standard.
It does.
So.
And we just watched Bo Diddle today. And he was at the women's march and talking with people about the abortions and stuff like this.
Added that one.
Yeah. Well, we can go over it. Like we have time. I'll find it or whatever. But no, he's great too with his work, and
he kept asking them, "You support women's rights?" And the women are like, "Yeah, I do." But he was like, "Well, do you know what amendment gave the women the right to vote?" And nobody knew.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. That doesn't seem to matter.
Like that's irrelevant.
It's like it's Amendment 19, ladies and gentlemen. That is the right for women. Now, for standing up for women's rights, but yet they'll quickly go get an abortion and kill a baby.
There could have been a woman. That baby could have been a woman. So what about?
I mean, either way, a baby's life is bigger than all of us.
Right, and that's the big thing. Like Mira was talking about, it isn't. The conservatives see it as the body of the baby, then it must be protected.
Yes.
And the liberals are saying, the body of the woman is what must be protected. And it's like, but, I mean, I feel that the baby's life outweighs it.
It does. Like, and to me, the baby's life, I mean, we have one right here, and I mean, we did whatever we could to help him throughout the pregnancy journey and making everything as best as we could.
Yeah, everything that, even if it was uncomfortable for me, and it was for his betterment. And it's just it's a small period in your life. It's a small time. I mean, those 9 months go by really fast.
Exactly, they do.
And for women to be treating it like it's a condition that must be avoided is just it's scary to me.
You know, and we've got this little thing going around. We've got the child-free by choice people.
Right.
I mean, there's all this stuff going around, and people are like, "Oh, well, we're overpopulated anyway, and that's why all this is going on." And it's like, okay, but if we're overpopulated, and then from all that's going around now, the trans, the child-free by choice, all this stuff. That'll make up about 2/3 of the people.
I looked it up before I did my math and everything, and when I put it together, it was like 12% here, 7% there.
Yeah.
And it all came to be about 25 to 30%. So about 1/3, really, of the entire population was opting out. I mean, at least the Western population was opting out of childbearing, or was unable to have childbearing for one reason or another. That's a pretty sizable chunk.
Yeah, when you start looking at those guys taken away, and then it's left up to the other people, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, but you have some of these who are having like 5 or 6 children." Okay, yeah, because they're making up for a couple of the people.
Yeah.
But not very many still.
Right. And yeah, I mean, if the world is overpopulated, which I don't believe it is, seeing the data now, I used to subscribe to that narrative thinking, oh God, we're out of control. Even if it was at this point in time, how many of those people are elderly or opting out? You know,
Yes.
So what comes next? So yeah, there's a video that I have here about the anti-natalist movement, where it's a group of people that literally think it's unethical to have children. And it's like, you have to breed the resistance, and you have to breed somebody who's going to protect the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So many people will say, well, if humans disappeared, the world wouldn't notice. How do you know?
And it would. I guarantee you it would.
Yeah, we're here for a reason.
Yes.
We're here to help push back the government, to push back the ones that are taking too much and raping the land, as they say, you know.
And I mean, everything that's on this planet is on this planet for a reason.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here otherwise.
Yes.
That's not a mistake by biology or science or gods. You know, I mean, we're here for a reason. And as it was written for us, it was to, you know, help protect and facilitate the environment, keep the balance between animals and people and their environments, you know. And if you can only do that living in your little area, then that's what you do. You just do that living in your little area. You don't got to run down to the Amazon and say big chunk of the Amazon. You don't have to, you know, stop deforestation like 5,000 miles away to make a difference. You do it here, now.
And it's like, if everybody were going around about their day, were to grab like a handful of wildflower seeds, sunflower seeds, any type of seed, and just plant a few here and there every day.
Yeah.
This world would be such a different place.
It's like
I love the places that are planting fruit trees, like all along in the towns.
Yeah.
And then it's like that anybody can come and eat it. I mean, homeless people then have a healthy choice.
Right, exactly. I know, and there was people that complained about that as well, because, well, what if the fruit drops and rots and attracts bugs? Well, I mean, God damn it, you gotta.
There's a reason for that.
You gotta clean up stuff anyway, so why not? I mean, it's biodegradable at least. I don't know. They have a reason and an excuse for everything. But it's like when you walk, I tell you, take a handful of seeds as you walk, because you walk everywhere, and sprinkle them around. And if you have, like, in the summertime, you fill up those little dishes of water.
And leave them all for the animals to get water.
Underneath the bushes and stuff, So it's like, little things really add up,
They do.
I remember when I was doing the classes through that app for the Himalayan meditation, and talking about how there was a guy who planted a banyan tree next to the side of the road, and this other guy comes along and he's like, well, why are you even bothering with that? He's like, you'll be so old by the time that it grows, you won't even be able to enjoy it. And then he comes back like 30 years later, and the guy is sitting underneath this tree with his children, and his children are enjoying the tree, and the children are, propagating another banyan tree down the way, and suddenly everybody on that road had shade.
See, exactly.
From the actions of just one little family, so.
And that app was a good program.
It really was. I really miss it.
Well, I think you might be able to get it with the new.
Oh, did they have it on there?
I think they did.
Oh.
I'm not sure. We'll see though.
see.
But yes, yeah, the Himalayan, it's an awesome little app. And
It
it's
really
for
is.
meditation. It's for
They had classes
Yes.
you could take, and if you did like 5,000 hours, you could become a certified teacher.
Yeah.
And, and they did. Oh god, it was a really nice little community. I remember the guru drew them a couple pictures, and they responded to him and said, "Oh my god, that's a really great picture, and we send love and light, and hope that we can sense it in you. Hope you'll join us someday." And it was.
And then it just uninstalled on our.
That killed me. I had over 2,000 hours,
Uh-huh.
and I completed so many of the classes.
Even some paid ones.
Yeah, because I was to the intermediate level one.
Yes.
And man, some of those, like the Sri Yantra ones, dude, they put you into a state. It was crazy cool. And yeah, probably like the jump start to meditation in general here. It's really good. He did a couple acts.
I would like to do it now that I'm deeper into it.
Right, yeah, because you did the starting ones, you did a couple of the acts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now that's why I started waking up at 3:30 in the morning,
Now I do.
Yep. Jump to it, and get up before the sun rises to light the candle and put the incense out.
Yes.
Just have that moment. Yeah, it's good.
All right, let's
let's
see.
get into it.
As we're 12 minutes into this thing now.
That's all we do is talk.
Yep. Okay. Planned Parenthood saw 1,200% rise in vasectomy appointments scheduled on November 6th.
1,200.
Yeah.
The very next day.
1,200. That's crazy.
Percent.
Yeah.
Like the very next day.
That's insane.
People are scared.
Yeah, they are. The day after Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election.
And he was born.
Yep, and our awesome son was born. The patients are already preparing for incoming Trump administration by taking control of their sexual and reproductive health care.
You can take control of it right now by just not screwing around.
I know. See, and that's one of the biggest things that I will say in this is the fact that the main problem is sexuality and sexual things before marriage.
Yeah, they think that they're entitled to it. Everybody thinks they're entitled to it, and it's like it's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your physical health, and it's like you do have control. I mean, barring the maybe 1 to 2% chance that you have of getting raped, and provided you don't get murdered as well.
Yeah, for sure.
You have control. Nobody guards that as a sacred right. And I'm not just talking about the women, I'm talking about the men too. It's like that in which you carry is the divine creation. It's like it's the most ultimate thing that you have to contribute to this world. And they don't guard it.
They don't at all.
Spread it around.
And especially a lot of the gay community.
Yeah,
they're so risky. They're so everywhere.
Right.
It's insane.
Right. And there isn't anything, there's no end to achieve there.
No.
It's like there is no egg to seek, and so
exactly.
There's no real divine union.
No, they're just most of the gay people, I won't say all of them, but most of them are in it for the lust.
Yeah, right. And I say that too because there's only been like one couple that I've ever met that they didn't have sexual relations because he had AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really sick, and so they didn't have that, but they stuck together, and the guy took care of him.
That's awesome.
It was like a really good friendship. That was only one though. Out of all the others that I met, I haven't found that ever again. So,
and we know one. We know personally at least one trans. Haven't talked to him in a long time.
Right. God, I forgot about that. I'm trying to get to your live. Right. We know that we have some in the extended family. Yeah. But we don't really know them. So but we know of them. But that's a trans youth too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like.
And then there's who my mother is.
Oh, I was thinking about Rose from Togs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, they've also gone off the deep end and started going real super woke.
And my mother was already not wanting to be in our lives anyway.
Right.
would not listen. She kept trying to post pictures all over Facebook before we even said no.
Yeah, of our first offspring.
Our first son, and just wasn't listening to it. Wanted to do it her own way. She was alcoholic that she was in AA recovering, but
For just ever.
Never. It
recovered.
wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
She was the same,
And
regardless. She didn't drink, but
she
was
take
still the
pills
same.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like that's still substances.
And then she married a trans. What do you call that? Trans man. Trans man.
So basically, she's a lesbian. So
Yeah.
the way I see it, she's cheating because you're supposed to live with a man and a woman because they're supposed to challenge you.
It's true.
They're supposed to make you uncomfortable. They're supposed to make you grow.
Yeah.
As well as be, of course, your biggest support system.
But see, she hated people telling her what to do, so she couldn't handle any of that. The guys that she had been with, and she'd been with quite a few, but she didn't like them saying, well, this is how you need to spend your money when they were correct on it.
Right. They're just saying.
Because she was a spender. She'd just go and spend.
Right.
And that was it.
I said neither one of our mothers knew how to handle money, and
No.
both of them had relationship problems. And it was the same thing. It's like, this is my money. I'm going to spend it the way that I want to spend it.
Yes.
Nobody's going to tell me what to do, even if it was in your best interest. So women rebelling against men thinking what's in their best interest has been happening a really long time.
It really has,
And
yes.
They have a big problem with it, as you'll see here with this.
Yes.
It's like a lot of these women are opting out of the childbearing because they literally want to spite men. They have women that are telling other women to divorce their husbands and stuff since this happened.
That's ridiculous.
To break up with their boyfriends, to stop dating men. If you need to cuddle, if you need to, fool around,
yes.
I'll be there for you. And
I remember some of that.
Women to women.
Yes.
Fuck. It's like, you don't want that. You
want to be able to push your partner and have a healthy connection.
Yeah. It's like, always for the betterment of each other, and always you do still wake up thinking, what can I do to make your life easier?
Yes.
All right, let's continue.
Can you get the water?
No.
Okay. Johnson pointed to the rise in vasectomies scheduled on November 6th. The sign: against abortions, get a vasectomy.
Well, I mean, I guess
because that's not guaranteed. So what if a guy got one and then the woman still got pregnant anyway and has to get an abortion? Then it depletes everything.
They get money for it, though, don't they?
Oh, they do. They damn right get money from it. Okay. She said that day also saw a 760% rise in scheduled IUD appointments, a 350% rise in scheduled birth control implant appointments. Now, see, that's another thing, is they're trying to say this Trump administration is going to make all of this illegal. You won't be able to get it. You won't, you're not going to be able to have women's rights at all, which... when have women ever been oppressed when they're saying we will not go back? We won't go back to what?
I know. I keep hearing that, and it's like, go back to what? I mean,
I guess they're talking as women as a whole. That, like, my family line, the women have never been oppressed, not once.
No.
I mean, going way the hell back.
Yeah.
It's like we've always been strong. We've always been decision makers, and in every culture there has been. You hear about it. You see it on the damn cave walls being painted.
There's always been very strong women that can do it. And it's like that goes back to even like back in the olden days where men could only own land.
Right.
And the husband would die and the woman would have to pretend to be a man.
Yeah, they still
did to make sure that they could keep their land.
Right. Dress up, go vote.
Yeah.
Do that, and I guess the point that they would make is like, well, they should never have had to hide their identity. But they did. And
they still made it work.
And they're like a legacy and a legend among their family.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some shady things done. The Salem witch trials is definitely one of those.
Yes, for sure.
The Old West was kind of one of those things, but I would argue that women were very valued at that time because, like, even prostitution.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the sex, it was the comfort, the care, and the nursing.
I was gonna say
that came along
the
with
brothels.
it. Right.
The brothels are absolutely something else to look at back then. Yes, some of them were dirty as hell,
And the cribs.
and they weren't right. But if you go to the main ones with the madams and everything else,
Yeah.
those girls were protected.
Yeah.
Those girls were worshipped.
They were
in
strong.
in terms of it all.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a whole book. It was called Soiled Doves, and it's all about the prostitution that happened
Yeah.
in this area during the 1800s. And yeah, I mean, and guess what? It was only the prostitutes, and the prostitutes only, they went out and took care of the miners when they got sick up
Yep,
the mountains.
it
and
was.
stuff. They would notice that they hadn't come in and notice that they were missing.
And go see what was going on and what they could do.
So during like the plagues and shit,
Yeah.
it was only the prostitutes that were working as nurses.
Because they're sick anyway, so
Yeah.
really they don't matter. They can
Right.
go do whatever they
Right.
want to. When everybody else is turning up an eye to them, at least they're out there helping. They're at base level, doing what they can to be decent human beings.
Serving, and
You know, it's like a lot of these Christian people that want to act like they are.
holier than thou.
Yeah, and it's like, well, no, see, I'm going to heaven because I do it all right. No, those
No.
are the ones sneaking drinks on Monday through Friday, going to church on Sunday and being like, oh, I repent, when you can't do.
Yeah.
Your repent is
And-
only done once.
And you don't turn back to it.
And yeah, you don't turn your
sin
back
no
on it.
more.
And that's when God will know
Right, what's in your heart.
that you are
and-
true in what
Right.
you want.
Exactly. And it's the same thing, again, coming back around to the gay community. They think that they can be gay and Christian.
Yeah.
It's like you could be gay and believe in Christ's teachings, but you can't be part of their club. You can't go to church and call
No.
yourself a Christian
No, because,
any more than I could.
like, again, most of them would be like, well, no, I'll just repent on Sundays. I'll just keep doing it. It's like, you can't.
No, you can't.
Jesus is going to look at you and be like, really?
The most wishy-washy person I've ever met,
And then there's the other ones that we heard about the, well, I only worship a God that's just and that's compassionate. God, the God of Israel has never been compassionate.
I mean, loving.
He's
maybe,
been very wrathful at times.
But yeah, I mean, exactly. All done out of a place of love because
Yes.
he wanted more than anything to give them what they all wanted, deserved, and gave them the world and gave them the fruits and gave them the animals. But they just pissed all over it, so that
Yeah, exactly. It's like when Moses had the group he was leading out from slavery.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, complaining the whole time. I'm hungry. Well, he just made it rain manna for you guys.
Right, but it's never enough.
I'm thirsty.
Okay,
here you go, water.
Strike a rock.
He's got
Exactly.
fresh water for you.
Exactly.
And then they're going along. Oh, I'm hungry. Really? Okay, well, here.
There was
Something
quail
else.
too. Quail
Yeah.
that fell from the heavens.
And then they're
too.
thirsty again, and that second time of being thirsty is what did it for Moses. Man, he could not get into the promised land because of that.
Yeah.
But he was willing to take that up for the people.
Yep, and he still did it. He
still
took
did it.
them
He
as
still
far
took
as he
care of
could.
people.
Exactly.
But he knew he wasn't getting into heaven because of that.
Right. Well, not heaven. The promised
The
land.
promised land, yeah.
I'm sure. I think they said that he sits alongside, God anyway. But yeah, he could. He
Yeah,
never
the
got
promised
to,
land.
Never got to see the land that his descendants came to settle and enjoy, which is a shame. But he didn't. He did what he was supposed to do. And even when they turned their backs on him and made that golden calf in 40 fucking days, can't even go 40 days without reverting back to something. He still, even though he was mad and he made them, drink the ashes of the calf, he still loved them and he still dragged them along and pushed them to where they needed to go because it was what he was supposed to fucking do.
And we don't have people that are willing to sit on their values and be true to what they are anymore.
Right.
I mean, back in those times, the people obviously the apostles said, fine, if you're going to kill me because I believe in this, it is what it is.
It is
I'm
what it
here.
is. Exactly. They're willing to freaking die.
I'm
for it.
still going to be worshiping him. I'm still going to be preaching because I was told to.
What did we read this morning? You read this morning in the scripture that, Paul was stoned and thrown out of the city on his ass, and he just got up and he dusted himself up.
And he walked right back to the
walked
city.
right back in and started doing it again.
Yes.
I mean, that you don't find that.
No, that's not around anymore. People they would rather, backstab you because it's like, well, I can get on this person's good side. I can
Right.
get the perfect example of this is Survivor.
Yeah, I know. And it's like that's a game in which you're encouraged to do such a thing.
Yes.
And it doesn't take much for people to turn on each other.
No,
Once
it doesn't
comes
at
down
all.
to the end of it, when they're
Money.
Yeah,
Money is a big problem.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. And that's
All right,
what
we're
all
getting-
of this is like driven by.
Yeah, we're getting way off track now.
Sorry.
Let's get. This will all be a subject for something else.
Yeah.
We'll do another live about it all. And 140% rise in scheduled gender-affirming care appointments.
I was shocked to see that even Kern Valley, Bakersfield had that available. in
Yeah,
their
they did.
office. That's amazing.
That makes me mad.
It's not going.
It's not.
That's crazy.
Okay. Following the election, searches for birth control surged by 109%, and searches for Planned Parenthood rose by 174%. Now, Planned Parenthood should not be searched for. It should be barred, banned, and dismantled.
Yeah, I agree. It's a corporation that charges women to have abortions or other services on top of being government funded and then being accused of selling body parts on top of that. I
Yes.
mean, what the hell?
And for any woman out there that wants to come at me and be like, well, it's a woman's right. A woman's right is not to murder a fetus, a baby that is going to be born. Now, abortion is not something that is medically necessity for a woman that's going to cause issues with her. That's not an abortion.
No.
That's called something else.
That's just like a medical issue to do with pregnancy or a failed pregnancy or, miscarriage or
rape
whatever.
even.
Right. Yeah, that's...
Rape still falls
Yeah, you
under
would still-
a different...
Yeah, you're not going to go to a Planned Parenthood even for that, most
No,
likely.
it's going to be done at a hospital.
Right. With an OBGYN. And all of these people that the DNC was bringing around that talked about their experiences, they didn't go to Planned Parenthood.
No.
They had an OBGYN because they talked about going to my doctor
Yes.
and visiting my doctor at this point. And it's like, so you had a regular doctor that guided you through this process.
Yes.
What the hell does that have to do with Planned Parenthood? That's like their whole platform.
Exactly.
And there's other clinics you can go to where you can get free birth control. I mean, when I got my birth control, it came from a regular doctor,
I know.
and that was covered by our county insurance.
Yes, it was. All of it was covered by county insurance. What you've had done. 4 people picked for Trump's cabinet so far have contributed to Project 2025, which, honest to God, ladies and gentlemen, Project 2025 it's a joke. It's not real.
No.
And if you're falling for that, then you are one of the problem people.
Like they said, Trump doesn't have anything to do with it. He doesn't know anything about it. He even had a press conference in which he was like, it's extreme. He's like, it's really extreme, and I don't have anything to do with it.
Yes.
So he's got some buddies, he's got some friends that wrote up this manifesto in which they think that he should be doing shit, but it's not his idea.
No, and it
he has
won't happen.
No, he's got no interest in it. The Democrats, I'm sure, have some radical variation of a manifesto they wanted Harris to go by.
Exactly.
It doesn't have anything to do with the president-elect or any of it. So,
It doesn't.
No. And it's such a joke. It's so over the top.
Okay. A manifesto that says the president has a moral responsibility to pursue anti-abortion policies.
Well,
Again, happened. Trump had said that he was going to leave it up to the states to decide how they want to go about that. He said it several times and said, "I will not get involved in women's rights. I am not going to tell a woman what she can and cannot do."
Right. Well, it's the same thing with the gay thing. It was like they're saying that he's so racist and he's so anti-gay, And it's like he's talked multiple times about supporting the LGBT.
Yeah, and I mean, there's even other gay activists online here, gay YouTubers
That's right. It was
that support him.
It was Amir, wasn't it?
Amir, yeah.
I was talking about that today. It's like
And he's a big gay YouTuber.
Yeah, and he talks about, yeah, we should do that video at some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Amir. Amir is great with.
He's black and he's gay, and he feels that he has a lot that he can say on those subjects. And
yes,
he's saying you don't have to be afraid of this. He's like, don't be afraid of it. We've been through it before. We'll get through it again.
Exactly.
It's not a big deal. Live your life.
Exactly right. Great picture that it stopped Trump on.
There's not a lot of good ones.
Data for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) shows that only 0.9% of abortions are carried out after the 21st week mark.
That's a long. That's still second trimester.
Yeah. See. Okay. They honestly, if you're gonna have one, if there is a reason, the only point it should be done is up to what did we talk about, like 6?
I would say 6 to 8 weeks.
That's what I was gonna say. 6 to 8 weeks.
Like
that's the only.
6 weeks is when you get the heartbeat, and most women don't even know they're pregnant at that
yes.
point. So. I mean, I would still say 6 weeks, but I mean, just giving it leeway. I mean, 8 weeks maybe. I mean, unless there's something very seriously wrong later on.
Well, yeah. If that's another medical necessity thing, if it's going to kill the woman,
right? Which is covered in all 50 states.
Exactly, it is. Any of that is covered, right, and has never been in jeopardy of being thrown out the window. They're misleading. They're scare factoring everybody, trying to make it seem like he's such a bad guy.
It's like, that's not the way to do this,
So, yeah. Okay, now with the appointment of Vivek, okay, I hope I'm saying this right. Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, who Elon's a great person. I mean, the work that he has done so far has just been downright amazing, and I'm looking forward to this presidency with him running some of the programs.
Yeah, because he's going to be downsizing and streamlining the government.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing.
Very good thing. I want to see what he's capable of. Creating Department of Government Efficiency. Doge.
They call it Doge, which is a meme. Which is funny. You're right. Hold on, baby, I'm making rights.
Planned Parenthood, the country's leading provider, again should not exist. May lose its federal funding, and it should. It should not be covered, because why are they charging women for the services that they're doing when they're getting money from the county, plus they're selling fetuses that they get and making money off of that? They're a money-hungry SOB corporation.
And it's run by men.
It's run by men.
It's like, why do the women want to put into that? You know? I mean,
my awesome wife, daughter of Otten, actually has another video on those type of places and the place that we dealt with. Because we've had stuff like this happen too, so we're not all clear in it either. But we've had to come to terms with a lot of stuff. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, my son's right there crying a little bit. It should be okay. But we've had to come to terms a lot with stuff for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's been a hard road, and it's not simple just to get an abortion. It's not. It's not simple. It will haunt you for the rest of your life.
Damn, I didn't even think about it for like 20 years, and then all of a sudden, there it is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It's like you might think they interview these women 5 years down the line, and they're like, "Oh, I don't regret it, not a single bit." If you would have asked me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said I didn't have any regrets, and that's the way that it was supposed to be. And then one day, it just hit. You know, it's like, what the hell did I do? Especially when you start seeing the videos and stuff,
Exactly.
procedures, and hearing other people's testimonies of how they're like on a, what do they call it, a processing plant, so to speak, you know? And it was like, this is not healthcare, this is butchery.
It is.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, I still have to wonder what really happened with me because they put me completely out. I mean, they said it's not common to do so.
Yeah, and we didn't know at the time.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Yes. Okay. Birth control and abortion pills requests have surged since Trump won the election. Giant headline, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Hours after Donald Trump was elected president for the second time, Dr. Clayton Alfonso had 2 messages from patients seeking to replace their IUDs. Over the next few days, 3 women inquired about getting their tubes tied. All of them said the election was the reason they were making these choices now. And the only reason that they should be talking about the election being the thing is if their state is one that is against that type of thing. Because leaving it up to the states is what allows that. So some states, yes, they could go that way.
They're only banning Planned Parenthoods and stuff, though. They're not banning the emergency medical care.
But I mean, like the IUDs is what these ones are talking about. I don't know where states stand on any of this stuff,
true.
And it's to the state.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
you know, I mean, but, according to I think that one interview, they were interviewing somebody, and it was in Congress, and they were like, "Is there any state that denies birth control?" And they said no.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I really don't.
I don't either. I don't know enough about that type of thing to know,
we know
what state, you know, what it all is. I don't know.
We know California.
Yeah, we know California because we live here, and you know, kind of have to know the state that you live in.
Right, that's about it. And California is very liberal with it. So.
Yes. Requests for long-term birth control and permanent sterilizations have surged across the nations since the election. Doctors told the Associated Press and companies that sell emergency contraceptions and abortion pills say they're seeing significant spikes in requests from people. And now, I mean, maybe this is just the earth getting rid of the stupid people.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
I mean, there's probably a reason. I mean, it's like most of the people that I see that are child-free by choice and stuff also, I'm like, yeah, I agree, you would be a really poor parent.
Yes.
But it's just the reasons that they give for opting out.
It's true.
And also the way that they flaunt it as if they're somehow better than you and have more time and have more things and can do more stuff because they don't have children. That's what bothers me.
Exactly.
I don't feel that they're contributing anything of value anywhere.
No, I don't either. Okay. I saw this bump after Trump election in 2016 and after Roe versus Wade was overturned in 2022, which I fully agree with the overturn of Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
Said Alfonso, an OBGYN at Duke University in North Carolina, but the patient seemed more afraid this time. That's because
it's in the water.
Well, the fear is coming off of those that follow this gender affirming thing, and I'm hoping that we do have a decrease in all of that, in the pronouns, in teaching it to kids in school.
Right.
All of that needs to go away again.
Yeah, it was going along just fine.
Yes.
Before, so why not now? You know, I mean, it's like you don't need all of that. You can wait till you're 18. You should wait till you're 25.
Yes. And
I had no idea that Planned Parenthood even had anything to do with that. Like, to be honest, until today.
Yeah.
Like, what does that have to do with parenthood?
Nothing. Yeah.
That's the other thing that gets me. It's called Planned Parenthood, and the one that I went to was family planning. There is no planning of families.
No, there's not.
There's no planning of parenthood. It's all just how not to have children.
Exactly.
Dad likes Lucky Charms.
Yep. Although anti-abortion advocates are pressing Trump for more restrictions on abortion pills, It's unclear what, if much, will be done regarding access to contraceptives of any kind during the second Trump administration. Trump told a Pittsburgh television station in May that he was open to supporting regulations on contraception. But after media reports on the interview, he wrote on a social media platform, Truth Social, that he has never and never will hold on. Advocate for them. Alfonso said, no. You're going way too fast here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Alfonso said his patients want to replace still effective IUDs. Yeah, it is. And restart the 3 to 12 year clock on them before the inauguration. He also said that women are particularly concerned about the IUDs, which have been attacked by the abortion opponents who believe life begins when an egg is fertilized. Yes, experts believe the devices work mostly by blocking fertilization, but also make it harder for the fertilized egg to implant in the womb. A patient who requested a tubal ligation Tuesday told Alfonso she doesn't want kids and is just absolutely terrified of either forced pregnancy or inability to access contraceptions. There's gonna be no forced forced pregnancies. I mean, we do not live in that type of country, no matter how hard they want to push that Trump is.
And if they do try that, then it's your job to stand up and say, "Oh hell no," and you fight it.
Then it's time for a revolution.
Yeah, exactly.
Flat out.
And I would fight that.
Yes.
It's like, no, hell no. You know?
Because it should not be forced either
It
way.
should not be the goddamn government. They talk about, the government shouldn't have anything to do with this. And it's like, but you're making the government be part of this.
Yep.
You're supporting another political party, which is run by the government too.
Exactly.
I mean.
Yes.
Oy.
Okay. Pittsburgh OB-GYN and abortion provider Dr. Grace Ferguson said more of her patients are scheduling IUD insertions or stockpiling emergency contraceptions, telling her upfront that it's because of the upcoming administration change. Yeah, you might lose it now because you're going to run out.
Yeah, right.
By the looks of
Right,
it. Because
right.
one person's going to have like 20 of them.
Uh-huh.
One patient, Mara Zupko, said she wants prescription emergency contraception since she's on the cusp of the weight limit for Plan B. The most well known over-the-counter type. Her husband is getting a vasectomy. We always kind of teetered on whether we wanted children or not, said Zipko, who's 27. But as the world has become scarier and scarier, we realized we didn't want to bring children into the environment. And I also have several health risks. Women are also turning to companies that sell emergency contraceptions online or offer abortion pills. Mephistophone? Well, there's, Prestone and then Prestol through telehealth. Something that's been happening even before the election. But that some companies say have accelerated.
I don't think you should be able to get that shit online to begin with. I mean, I got it, it's like wretched.
Okay. A study earlier this year showed the abortion pill supplier aid access received about 48,400 requests from across the U.S. for so-called advanced provisions. Pills from September 2021 through April 2023, with requests highest right after news leaked about Roe being overturned, but before the formal announcement. Other research found that more women had their tubes tied post-Roe, with the biggest increase in states that ban abortions. Mifepristone has a shelf life of about 5 years and misoprostol about 2 years, according to Plan C, an organization that provides information about medical abortions. Plan B typically has a shelf life of 4 years. Telehealth company Wisp saw orders for abortion pills spike 600% between Election Day and the following day. And between November 6th and 11th, the company saw a 460% increase in sales of its emergency contraception and birth control offerings. At Gen Z-focused WinX Health, which sells emergency contraception called Restart, company leaders saw a 966% increase in sales in the 60 hours following the election compared with the week before. Sales of value packs of Restart, 4 doses instead of 1.
I'm sorry, if you're gonna need that many,
That's a problem.
if you're like planning on needing that many, that's really fucked up. So that means you are just using that for birth control. Why else would you need that many?
Exactly.
I mean, unless you're gonna give them to your friends or whatever. And I'm wondering, maybe that'd be a good thing to stock up on, and then you can just charge them, $3,000 for it when it comes down to it. But we would never do that because we're decent.
Okay. Sorry, let me get back to where we were. Okay. We're up more than 7,000% in the past week. Morning after pills are legal in all states, but WinX co-founder Cynthia Plosh said many people seem confused about what emergency contraception is compared to the abortion pills. In 2023 poll by the Health Policy Research Organization KFF, a majority of responders said they know these two things aren't the same, but only 20% reported knowing emergency contraception pills cannot end a pregnancy. Doctors agree confusion about morning after pills may explain some of the stockpiling, but Alfonso at Duke suspects some people are doing this for the same reason they are seeking longer-term methods of birth control, to avoid abortion by preventing pregnancies in the first place.
But that is kind of a pregnancy.
Yeah, it is.
Which is super early term.
Exactly. And you're going to have to deal with that because we do believe that the soul enters the body as soon as it's known. You can talk to the soul before you even have that pregnancy to see about it going in.
There's like a soul contract.
Yes.
And I believe that it's like, I don't know, like I said, when the heartbeat is there, that's like when the process is fused.
It's solid. It's done.
It's kind of like building a house, and then you come to visit the house from time to time. See
Yes.
how it's developing, and then once the heartbeat starts, it's like getting the keys to the house.
Yeah.
And then you move in. So it's like that communication and that that bond is like already there. It's already been chosen.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean you can't deny the spark. Like when the zinc. When it happens, when then there's that union, there's that spark, like light.
Yes.
In an area that has no light,
Exactly.
How is that in itself not a miracle, even by science?
It is. I mean, it's just like the Big Bang at the start of the universe.
Exactly. It's like,
it has to have that jolt.
Yeah, let there be light.
Yes.
In a place where there was no light.
Exactly.
There was, and it's like that's freaking amazing.
It is. It's really amazing.
That they just they don't see it that way. It's just
it's their body.
Right.
That's all.
Is it? It's it's the God's body.
It's a vessel.
It's a vessel, exactly. Like, but they don't like it. They don't like to be diminished to such a lowly thing.
Yeah.
They see it as being a lowly thing, and it's like the most incredible thing it can be.
I mean, most of those women are so egotistical and self-driven that it wouldn't even, you couldn't talk to them about it.
Right? It's like mine was done out of fear of disappointing my mother, but her driving force was exactly that. It was,
and she kept me away from it all too, so that nobody had a say in it.
Right? There was a reason.
Yeah.
It's like she knew that in her heart of hearts, you would end up changing my mind, even if you never said anything.
Yeah.
It would be put there.
And she knew we were meant to be.
Yeah.
She was trying to find every way to split us apart.
Yeah.
We finally had to kick her to the curb, say.
Yeah. And it's like, if you want to get back into my life, you have to go through him and apologize, because there was some really shitty stuff done.
Yeah, there was. And then she'll never know about this, about our second son, Amos.
Yeah, not from us.
No.
I mean, I'm sure she
I mean,
knows,
if she decides that she wants to be a part and she wants to, then by all means, we'll start that communication. I mean, my dad had to restart it too.
Yeah, you just had, and look how fast that went.
Yeah, he did. Well, he did great with it.
Like
he wanted back in our lives.
Yeah.
So it started off with just mailing letters back and forth.
Showed us respect.
Yep.
Used our familial last name instead of forcing me to keep using the name that I was like.
Yep, exactly.
That I was trying to get away from. Just showing general respect and just doing those little steps, just writing the letter. And like I said, it's my grandmother. She writes, but it's a game to her.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's really selfish. Her motives for writing, and it's like I can't rightfully make him go through that. I went through that. I was forced to keep writing these letters, even though I didn't feel that connection.
And it's like, he's old. He's old enough now. He knows.
Yeah, I did it.
He knows what he wants. He knows what they're capable of and what they're not doing.
Right, and I made him stay in the loop until he was about 12.
Yeah.
I made him write a letter every week and say, you have to do this, and then after that, it was like now it's on you. Right, and it's like I can't lie. I can't lie, and it's like it's really unfortunate, and she chose to choose my mother instead of us, and and that's fine, whatever makes her happy, but I'm not going to let that into her life.
No, they can't deal with any of this, even though supposedly that's all that your grandmother wanted.
Right, and it's like I was thinking about that today, this morning, how it was always said that I never have to worry about money. That everything would be covered, just whatever you want to do in life, we're going to be there, we're going to financially support you, and then for them to turn around and say no. That's not happening. You didn't play the game right. You chose him. We hate him for some fucking reason. No. And so then it completely, totally cut me off and treat me the way that they did just because of that. It was
something else, that's crap.
Will always choose love,
Yes.
Look what it's brought.
Me. And my nerdy self.
Yep.
And Amos.
And his nerdy self.
And most of his nerdy self.
Doctors agree confusions around morning after pills may explain some of the stockpiling, but Alfonso at Duke suspects more people are doing this for the same reason. They are seeking longer-term methods of birth control to avoid abortions by preventing pregnancies in the first place. Alfonso predicts the birth control and birth abortion pill surge may level out like it did in 2016-2022. If the new administration does not focus on healthcare right away, he said, then I think it'll go to the back of people's minds until it picks up in the media. The Associated Press Health and Science Department received support from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute Science and Education Media Group. The AP is solely responsible for all content. Okay, here's a new article.
You can, we probably want to skip to the Reddit.
Okay.
That one, I think that's pretty much the same.
And we're already an hour in.
And
I haven't even gotten to this anymore.
And I really wanted to get to the videos.
I mean, this is a big subject, and we've got a lot to say on it.
But a good thing going. Where's the Kenneth room?
In the bathroom. Okay. Trump win triggers women to rethink having children.
Ooh.
Trump win prompts. Okay, it's another one. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a little strong.
Is it?
Is it the Reddit?
No.
No, go to the Reddit.
That's what I'm trying to get to, but this is just an article.
The Reddit will take you to another article, but it's short. Can you go find it for me? I can't find it.
Tristan,
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm in the middle of the hardcore.
how far in is it, hun?
It's the very last one.
What are you looking for, Mama?
Okay.
The black one.
The only one.
So the black one.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I see. Okay, that was the one I was thinking of. It is. Okay. Need to get this down, so I got a whole thing here to read. Okay. Women across the U.S. say they're putting these family planning decisions on pause following Donald Trump's decisive presidential win, citing concerns about reproductive care and gender equality. The big picture, the 2024 election saw intensely personal decisions about family and children become politicized and illuminated vast differences between how men and women plan to vote. Now Americans are processing the outcome as they look to make choices about their something. In a post-Roe America, stories of women grappling with limited access across states with a patchwork of abortion restrictions have already been reported.
Okay, we'll wait till we get to the video part, and then I'll send
As
you-
medical professionals navigate the legal repercussions of providing care. In many reported cases, women have died or suffered severe medical complications due to delayed care during pregnancy. The only reason that that'll happen is because women, it's medical necessity will always get taken care of no matter what these people want to talk about. But if it's something that doesn't push the medical necessity
Right.
and it's not going to cause an issue, they'll have to wait until it causes an issue.
And, that's how it should be. You should
Yes.
try and stick to the natural course of action as much as possible because these are dangerous procedures.
Very dangerous. Yes, they can definitely change, or they're life-altering decisions too.
And if people are dying because of this sort of thing, then that has nothing to do with abortions. That's just medical negligence.
Yes,
It's like somebody. I mean, they should sue those doctors because
exactly.
they didn't do their job. It's like that's because there's no way. It's like somebody's. I mean, because you go to the ER for a multitude of reasons.
Yes.
God.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get to the next setup here. Okay.
Mostly on the Reddit one after this, you'll see that I found a comment that I thought was interesting.
Okay. My life on the line to have another child. State of play. Women who spoke with Axion shared various reasons for adjusting their family planning, echoed by others across social media who have lamented what Trump's win could mean for their family's future. Okay, Mary Claire Farr, 27, cited Trump's threats to dismantle the Department of Education and possibility of increased productive health restrictions and warning from economics about how Trump's proposed policies could affect the cost of living. A Virginia mom who voted for Trump as a teenager in 2016 gave birth to her only child 2 weeks after Roe versus Wade was overturned. We might change our mind eventually, but as of right now, we just don't foresee us being able to ethically have another child until we knew.
No, I would be damned. I would be damned, and my ancestors would crush me under their heels if I ever let the government dictate how I was going to live my life.
Exactly.
If I ever let somebody let me live in fear that badly that I stopped doing what I was supposed to do, or that I wanted to do.
Exactly.
I'd be crushed.
So we know that we would be able to provide for them. Barr said of her and her husband, it does not cost that much for a child. People will try to scare you with that. Well, it's going to cost all this money. I don't have that money, and I can't get it. For one, there's no problem with asking for help from the government. It's your money in the first place that you're getting back. For two, children do not have to be that much money. You can make your own kids' clothes. You can, make home-cooked meals pretty cheap for quite a while. There's food pantries that you can go to. There's, there's free boxes of food that you can get from different organizations.
And if all else fails, you can garden and you can learn to hunt.
Yes.
And learn to trade with your neighbors.
Exactly. Your pride cannot get in the way.
Your fear can't get in the way.
No.
That's what gets me. It's like you're letting somebody that they're never going to meet, that they're never going to know on a personal basis. They're never going to interact with these people.
Exactly.
You're letting those people scare them out of what, like I said, they should be doing or want to be doing.
Exactly.
I'd rather die.
I would too.
It's bad enough that I fear animal control the way that I do.
I know.
But it doesn't stop me from living the life the way that I want to.
No, and they've never had anything on us.
Mm-mm. I mean, it's just the stress of it.
Yeah, it is.
I don't like the outsiders, and
I know.
So I understand, I understand that a little bit, but these people are just taking it way too far.
Yes.
Like the government should never make you that afraid.
I know.
That's a problem.
Barr said she fears bringing another child into the world could risk having another woman under Trump's presidency.
Ooh.
Wow. This is her entire life, Barr said of her daughter. This is our entire life. Jordan Simon, a North Carolina mother, pictured her daughter as a little old lady when she cast her ballot this year, asking, "What kind of woman am I leaving behind? World am I leaving behind for her?" As a single mom, she said giving her daughter siblings was somewhat of an abstract idea, but she knew she wanted more children after giving birth. Simone said she felt confident her doctors could doctors could keep her safe if she were to have another baby. But over the last few days, she's grappled with a different vision for her future as a mother. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad.
These people are just worrying about the what ifs that probably won't come anyway.
Yeah, like Tom Petty said.
Yeah.
Those things they worry about never happen.
But anyway, exactly. May he rest in peace. Tom Petty forever.
Radiate through the universe.
Yep. God forbid something happened and she needs an abortion and I can't get it. Where do I take her? And why do I have to think about that for somebody who's 3 months old? Simone said. The problem is, if you're getting an abortion from a Planned Parenthood that they're trying to take out, it means you are electing to have it done. It is not a medical necessity, and there's no reason for that. I will stick to that. Zoom in. If implemented proposals in the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 could drastically restrict productive care access, particularly through calls to enforce the Comstock Act to limit abortion pills. What Trump has distanced himself from the 900-page blueprint, some MAGA allies have publicly backed it as the plan once he returned to the White House. And he's not going to, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to, okay? Like I said, he is going to leave these subjects up to the state. Well, Trump has said he would veto a national abortion ban. He has been inconsistent on the issues throughout his campaign, most likely opting for a leave it to the state view. It's exactly what he's going to do. Zoom out. The election has presented a dire and scary moment for sexual and reproductive health care, said Amy Friedrich-Karnick, the director of federal policies at the Guttemacher Institute, a research organization that supports reproductive care access. She and her colleagues write that reproductive health will likely face unprecedented threats, whether it's through reinstating restrictions from Trump's first presidency, like an expanded global gag rule, or implementing further barriers. It's been a chaotic landscape for the last 2 years, and it's only going to get much more chaotic, she's told Axion. And that's just not the case, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, don't let these people scare you.
It will definitely be more chaotic, but it's not going to be because of the political parties. It's going to be fear-mongering like this, That's,
I know.
It's,
and this is full-on fear-mongering. I gotta take a drink. My voice is going out.
Yeah, go ahead and just get to the bottom. There are some key takeaways there, and I mostly wanted to look at that comment that was on Reddit, and then you can just chill back and watch the Childfree by Choice video that I showed you. And then I guess we'll probably have to roll this over to next week.
We're going to have to, because, we're already over an hour. I know that.
That was like a whole news thing we just did.
Okay, we're going to get down, and I just want to get to the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
The bottom line, beyond policy, far mourns Vice President Harris' unrealized win. My daughter's first memory was going to be a woman president. She thought ahead of the election results. She was never going to have a world where a woman couldn't do that. And part of me feels like I failed her. Farr added, I have to explain to her that I am one of the reasons that he got into office the first time.
Oh my God.
And that's the end of it. Oh. Just 5 big things, maybe? No.
I guess I can just tell you what it was about.
That was it.
Okay, did you find the Reddit comment?
It's right here.
Okay. I forgot what the original comment was, but I found it.
Which one is it?
It's the one that talks about the Russian politics.
Okay.
Maybe one day in the future, but I have no plans right now to do that. But if I do change my mind and decide to get permanent birth control.
Oh, thank you.
So just to leave it, I'll just tell you. It was in Russia. They have made it illegal to promote child-free by choice propaganda. Like you can actually get fined for it, and they say thrown in jail. But as far as I found out, just
a fine, yeah.
But I mean that's interesting because it's such a big deal to them that they don't even want like people like her, like the one you're about to watch.
Yeah.
They don't even want that you can't even do it on social media or anything because you'll get a fine. So that's how serious they are about their population crisis.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I need you to find the.
Okay, I'm gonna start this for people, and then I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll go over this when it's done.
Y'all would know. So I yeeted my fallopian tubes. Let's talk about it. No kids for me, thanks. Hi, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, you heard me correctly. I got sterilized. I am the amazing tubeless. I cannot have babies. So back in June, I decided that I was finally in a position where I was prepared to go through the process of trying to get sterilized. When I started off on this journey, I hate calling things journey, but whatever. When I started off on this journey, I was nervous because I knew how often child-free people try to get sterilization and doctors simply refuse them. And I know there's probably some child-free people that watch this channel that are interested in sterilization or are contemplating it, on the fence about it. And I'm hoping that my experience in this video can somehow help y'all looking for sterilization forward towards that goal. So, like I said, in June is when all this started. I utilized an amazing resource that any of y'all looking to get sterilized needs to know about. On r/Childfree, they have a list, a list of child-free friendly doctors who sterilize people without children without giving pushback and bingos. Okay. There's a list for the US, which lists all the different states individually, and there is an international list. So I found the North Carolina section of the list.
She's talking about a list that you can get on Reddit about doctors that will give you a sterilization without, like, they support the child-free movement. So they're basically anti-natalists themselves.
Okay.
And most of the time, like, they don't want you to get sterilization until you're much more of an advanced age. Like, I'm not even sure that I would be eligible.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be given. I mean, yeah, that's
For
where
a
it
lot of
should
reasons,
be.
right?
Yeah.
Not just childbearing, but
No, but it's hormones. It's
That's what
natural body things. I mean, when it's supposed to go, then okay, you can help it along or whatever.
Right. Like my mother and my grandmother, they went the opposite route.
Yes,
and
they
keep
did.
Taking hormones just to keep that. And it's like,
To keep that youth.
Yeah, it's cheating the system. Well, because they don't want to be uncomfortable. It's
I know,
like,
but it's part of the youth
I
too.
get so hot and I get so uncomfortable and I cramp and I was like, well, yeah, you got to go through it. And it's
You do.
much harsher for like her than it's going to be for me.
Just like when she didn't get her shot,
Right. Yeah.
and it was
See,
late,
hell.
and then I mean,
Just pure fucking hell.
Yeah.
I mean, just horrible person. Just like.
she was always bitchy.
And you would see the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
And, it's like you got to go through it naturally.
You do.
Otherwise, it's like, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
I know.
Grandmother, the same thing. It's like, oh, I get horrible headaches.
Wonder why.
I mean, it probably won't last forever.
No.
But modern women,
It is modern thinking.
Anyway, so yeah, that's basically what she's talking about. Is a list of doctors that will do this at a much younger age, sometimes starting at the age of like 21.
So medical malpractice.
Yeah, basically. Definitely medical, unethical medical.
Yes.
For sure.
List. I looked at all the doctors, cross-checked it with my insurance to make sure they were in network,
It's covered.
American healthcare things, right? So I called, made the appointment, was very excited. I was a little nervous,
What?
obviously.
Okay, so I just
What?
got off the phone with the doctor's
That is-
office. I have an appointment at the end of July. So that's something to look forward to. That's exciting. That will be here before I know it. I'm very excited. She actually submitted herself to the subreddit and a few of
Comments?
her colleagues. So I have good
People want to be child.
good feelings
Okay,
about
so
it.
just
So
skip
my
them.
appointment was for my pap smear, which I was due for, and just a consultation.
Nobody's
The day of the
keeping that, though, right?
consultation comes. We do the pap smear first. It was very quick, very simple. So after the pap smear, she said, "Is there any questions?" I said,
Okay,
"I
yeah,
would
'cause I
like
was
to
saying, I
talk
don't know
about my
how to-
sterilization options." She did not miss a beat. She did not bat an eyelash. She simply said, "Okay, here's what I offer."
Okay, comments on
and
hers,
gave
right?
me a brief explanation of a laparoscopic bilateral salpingectomy, which is exactly what I was hoping to get, which is they go in laparoscopically and remove your fallopian tubes. Okay. I was prepared to get at least one or two
say
questions of
anything
like,
like
are you
crossword.
sure? Are you sure you don't want kids? Blah, blah, blah. And I didn't. And it was wonderful. So I left that appointment that day being told, we'll call you in like a day or two to set up a pre-op appointment and a surgery. Okay, so it's been 2 days. Today's Friday. I just got off the phone with my doctors. They called. I have a pre-op appointment on September 26th, and my surgery is scheduled for October 16th. Fast forward to September 26th. At the pre-op, my doctor also wanted me to do an ultrasound just to make sure there were no cysts, fibroids, anything weird going on in there, because if there was, she was going to remove it at the same time she was removing my fallopian tubes. It was a transvaginal ultrasound, meaning that like the little ultrasound wand or whatever goes up your hoo-ha and they're flapping it around like this a lot. It wasn't painful, but it was uncomfortable, and I felt kind of like crampy afterwards, but it didn't last for very long. They didn't find anything weird on the ultrasound, so then we went, had the appointment. Yet again, Dr. just came in, gave me the rundown of the surgery. She said there would be 3 incisions, one on either side of my abdomen and one in my belly button. And if y'all remember, I have belly button ick, and I told her this, and she was like, "Oh, well, if you don't want it in your belly button, we can put it like on the outside of your belly button." Thank heavens for that. So, like I said, she reiterated how the procedure would go. Essentially, you get put to sleep. The 3 incisions, they go in. They completely remove the
There's a
fallopian
couple.
tubes. They take them out, ship them off to be tested for whatever reason.
All right, I was going through some of the comments right now.
She just said it. They shipped off her stuff.
Yeah, that's
to be tested for whatever reason, and it's like, see, you don't even know what they're doing with
this.
your bits.
Exactly. This Childfree is a flat out cult. I mean, it sounds identical to any of these other cults that even these people would call psycho. Like, it's like, oh my god, they actually follow this person, they actually do this and that. Now let's listen to this one. It's Nikyu, that girl. I was so serious about my child-free stance and so sick of birth control that I actually got sterilized on my birthday. My experience was amazing and easier than I expected it to be. My care team was great and I healed pretty fast. 10 out of 10. Would totally recommend getting sterilized if you are firm on your decision to be child-free.
There was one in there that was saying that they wish they could have watched the procedure happen. Because they were so excited to have it, they wish they could have seen it. They said they wish they could have stayed awake to watch it happen.
I know.
So that sounds pretty cultish to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Brainwash.
Yeah.
I am super emotopic, so I always ask them for tons of anti-medics before surgery, and they always happily oblige.
Yeah, so that's what's getting me. It's creeping me out. That
Yes.
medical field is so easy to pass up any kind of medication like that. Happy to oblige. That's really weird to me.
It is.
It's like we haven't been part of that for a while. We haven't
No.
been part of Western medicine for a while, but the last time that we went, they were always very hesitant to give you stuff.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Now
Well, they
it's
give
like-
me stuff more like before you.
Yeah, that's a whole different live stream, probably for my channel, because that is lopsided as hell in the medical community.
It is.
It's like they totally always like underestimate women's pain. Say we can just suck it up and move
Yeah,
on.
they do.
It's like just because we can endure childbirth doesn't mean that the rest of it doesn't hurt pretty much equally, you know?
Exactly. Listen to the end of this one. And they always happily oblige. When I was wheeled to recovery, I shouted, "Freedom!"
Oh my god, yeah.
and made everyone laugh.
Bruh.
I
Man,
remember.
I'm dead.
Oh, this one says can't hear the other person talking. Because I'm way the hell over here. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of whether or not this is like, what are the reasons that people are wanting this, you know?
The reason?
Is it a selfish thing, or is there legitimate reasons for not wanting children besides that? You know?
Okay, let's see. Shall I play more of the video while I'm going through more?
Sure.
Okay.
Reason mine came back fine, spoiler alert, and then they close you up and you go home. It is an outpatient surgery, and I had my surgery in an outpatient facility. I forgot to mention this, but my doctor also told me that having a bilateral salpingectomy can help you prevent ovarian cancer. It can lessen your risk for that, which I thought was interesting. Secondly, removing the fallopian tubes should not affect your hormones as long as you still have your ovaries. Third of all, you will still bleed during your menstrual cycle if you remove your fallopian tubes. You would have to remove your uterus to not bleed. Also, on the day of my pre-op, I got instructions for like the week before, the day before, and some soap. We'll get to the soap in a minute. So I impatiently waited for my surgery day, which happened on October 16th. The week of, I wasn't allowed to have certain medicines like Excedrin migraine, I think ibuprofen, stuff like that. I couldn't take any vitamins that week. You can't drink alcohol. You can't smoke anything like the day before. And obviously I had to stop eating and drinking however many hours before the surgery. I also, the day before surgery, had to shower with the pink soap stuff.
Kind of smells like old.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I found another comment as I was going down. That's just this, I mean,
Interesting.
Nah.
just getting interesting. We got to find it again. Okay, right here. It's okay. There we go. Okay. Anish 6487. It says, "Yo, exciting. I've dreamed about getting sterilized since like 10 years old. Hated the idea of being able to get pregnant and give birth." So this is starting to sound like a phobia.
It is. It really is. A lot of them are afraid of what's going to happen to their bodies. You know, that it's like a disease or a condition that should be avoided at all costs, and it's usually pretty superficial.
That's interesting.
Like this guy says, for antinatalists, there's ethical reasons grounded in prevention of suffering for not wanting to bring new children into this world. So there's like a more valid reason behind that.
But a lot of it seems to be just egotisticalness.
Right.
A lot of, I mean,
and that's the propaganda that's like, perpetuated.
But see, then the ones that have a legit fear and legit issues, it makes them seem less valid.
Right.
And that's part of the problem. That's like the whole trans movement too.
Right.
The ones that are overdoing stuff.
Yeah, the loud minority, as they say,
are ruining it for the ones that truly have it.
Exactly. Like,
See,
like dysphoria, yeah.
Yeah, because it says right here. It says, then this spiraled into an insane gender dysphoria. I'm not in America, so I hope child-free friendly doctors exist here in Lithuania as well. I hope young, in quotes, age, I'm 20 now, is not an excuse for them to turn me away. I mean, 20 years old and worrying about this. The problem with that all doctors I know that don't want to do it, that have the issue is, what if it's a phase?
Right.
What if they're...
That does happen. They get so mad when it does happen.
Yes. And what if it's just a phase to where they in a couple of years, they want to have a kid and had this done to where they can't? I mean, you do not know. These women could, they could kill, off themselves because of it. It's a serious problem.
And like I said, I don't know about the hormones and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Congrats, my total hysterectomy was August 2023, right before I turned 25. And while it was done out of medical necessity, it was even more impactful psychologically than I expected it to be. The way this country is moving, I'm just more and more grateful every single day that I'm sterile.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's a reason.
No.
I don't think that living in fear of your government is a reason.
No, and a lot of these people seem to think that, the sterilization is going to sterilize them in terms of, diseases, too, it seems. I'm not saying that they haven't really said it,
right, no,
but that's almost what they're hinting at.
It's just like I said, they think it's a condition to be avoided, so it does come off like that. They're just going to be completely immune to all of the things that could happen.
They're not immune to STDs.
Right.
You still can get them, even though you don't.
Right.
You just can't get pregnant.
Right. Oh shoot! I forgot what I was going to say about one of those things. I forgot. I don't know. Oh yeah, medical necessity, endometriosis and things like that will be making even pain. Periods are very painful. So I can imagine that there's issues with childbirth
and some people.
That's a pretty valid reason. I would
say. And I've seen the ones that some people bleed a lot more than most people should on their normal.
Right.
Ones.
Right.
So you're getting these issues, and yes, they're valid issues.
Yeah, but just one being fearful of the government, and another one is not wanting to have changes done to your body or your lifestyle. It's not a good enough reason for me to get behind.
No, it's not.
You know.
And it's like, I can only imagine for the women out there that cannot give birth because of other issues that they've had. It just can't happen.
Yeah.
What they must feel for what these people are doing.
Right.
You know, they try and they want to and they can't.
Right.
And these other people are like, well, I just keep getting pregnant, so I've got to do this.
Right. I know.
I've got to stop this.
It's harsh. I mean, it's harsh. That's a tough thing to swallow.
Yes.
Even with us having the ease that we've had with the two, like we have like hyperfertility, and I always think about that about people that have wanted to have their own children and can't, no matter what, do it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it makes you feel kind of guilty. But we each have our cross to bear.
We do. But like you've talked about before too, these people that are getting sterilized, it's like, okay, so what are they doing to make this world a better place?
Right.
They're not having the kids now. We know that.
So then it's like.
So what is their steps
Yeah.
that they are going to do to make this world a better place?
It's like teach the ones that are left behind. You know, teach the other children,
adopt
you know,
maybe.
Adopt or put service toward animals or the you know. Something
For sure, but you see the ones that are selfish,
right?
Because all they want to do is care
their
about
best
themselves. They want to go travel. They
Right.
want to do this. They want to do that. There's still something within that they could do to help the world.
Right, and that would be admirable.
Yes.
You know, but it just doesn't seem to be that way. You know,
It
like
doesn't.
the child-free movement is they want to be free of everything, including responsibilities. A lot of them won't even get pets. You know,
No.
they don't want to share their life with a pet. And
No, because we've grown into a world where we've got this me generation. We know because like our parents
yeah,
are that way, and then there's a lot of kids growing up that it's just all about them.
right. That's like I said, the sense of entitlement that came with this last generation is kind of a good sign because that means that most people are doing their job and providing more than enough. For them
Exactly.
to feel that way. So it's like, okay, so take that and say, okay, at least they, you know, they feel like, you know, they haven't really suffered.
Yes.
So now it's like, now you know how to temper that and use that and be like, okay, now we got to scale it back a little bit. Put
Exactly.
these efforts into something that's going to be a little bit more fruitful and leave behind better children for the world. You know, not just better world for the children, but
Yep.
people that are going to be caretakers and, you know, they don't need to be like Elon Musk or anything. You know,
No.
we've got plenty of people like that. We need like caretakers of the environment.
Yes.
that
People
can work
that. Yeah.
on their own societal level within their own communities and stuff.
Exactly.
But, you know, selfishness always wins out, and
No, it does. I mean, you see it.
Yeah.
It's something else.
how long have we been going?
An hour and a half. Yeah, we'll call it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a second part one. Next Friday, tune in. We're going to have more content and a lot more to say about it as we have on this one.
Yeah, because we go through the child-free, and then eventually there's a conversation with an anti-natalist that they say is just really, really good, makes really good points, and it's a really well-done interview. So I have that one to wrap it all up with because, like I've just established with this person in the chat that, you know, child-free and anti-natalism is totally different.
Yes.
You know, like, yeah. So there's ethics involved with one, and then there's just freedom involved in the other one. So.
And thank you, the Cosmic Anti-Natalist, for stopping by. We'd love to have people stop by. You know, if we're saying something wrong, let us know. We'll fix it, and we'll make sure we do more research on it. I mean, there's no issue there. I'm here to spread the truth and say exactly how it is. So thank you again for stopping by.
See if you can come back by next Friday, and we'll continue the conversation.
For sure.
We'll give a Woke-Ass Wednesday.
Yeah, there's also that.
Yeah, there is. There's my Woke Ass Wednesday, too. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend.
I have to kiss you